Get ready for more undocumented children showing up at public schools. That's the warning from the Department of Education in New York City. But didn't the president promise his executive action would mean fewer, not more, illegals would be crossing our border? Steve, another broken promise that's going to end up costing taxpayers money.
That's right, like you can keep your doctor and keep the health insurance policy you want. It's just going to be an incentive for more. We had a reform bill in 1986, Simpson-Mazzoli, 3 million illegals. Now today we have 11 or 12 million. This is it's just a real incentive for more to cross the border. Why wouldn't you cross when you know every few years you're going to get a general amnesty?
Right. Bruce, incentives matter.
They do matter, and I would say that this is just another example where we need to go back and pass the bipartisan Senate bill that would give us more border security and also require, I think it's lost on people, that it would require the path to citizenship to include paying back taxes that would pay for some of this.
Well,
so
if you can get it.
Hopefully it'll change.
If you can get it. But, Mike, the point is, and it's not just New York, by the way. These kids are being sent all over the country, in Massachusetts, the Midwest, et cetera. It costs a lot of money. These school districts have to begin to prepare budgets for all these extra school children, many of whom don't speak English.
Well, it's also going to cost all taxpayers money, David, because given the income levels of these immigrants, from the earned income tax credits, they're actually going to be getting a net check from the government as opposed to paying taxes. So the cost is going to go up because of the tax code itself.
Right. And, John, we mentioned before in an earlier segment that how much it costs to educate kids. It's much more in New York because of the cost of bilingual education.
Well, I'd say first thing is that rich countries tend to attract immigrants, and that's a good thing. But if we're going to talk about incentives, let's open up the borders and legalize all work. There's a reason that these kids are crossing, because this is where their parents are. So if we allowed free crossing of workers to come in and out of the country, they wouldn't have the incentive to bring their kids and grandmother and everything. The problem is the law that presumes we can keep people out of this country who want a better opportunity.
I don't know, Bill. I don't think that's going to happen. The bottom line is, for the moment, somebody's got to pay for this, for what the president has done. He said it's not going to happen. I think we're going to have to pay for it.
I'd like to see an immigration reform that makes it a lot easier to come into the country legally, a lot harder to come in illegal. I'd like to see a reform that makes it a lot easier to come in to work with a guest worker program and a little bit harder to come in with your family who will impose costs.
Well, that's the point, Steve. We don't want immigrants who are going to be feeding off of the welfare system. We want immigrants who are going to work.
Yes, and most immigrants come to this country to work. Well, we do have a broken-down system. Bill is right on that. And legal immigration's been a huge source of wealth and prosperity in this country. What we have now is a dysfunctional system. People who come here have to go in the underground economy, and the system itself, people who play by the rules get shafted. They have to hire numerous lawyers. Their papers get lost. So we punish those who try to play by the rules.
Last word from Steve Forbes. Meanwhile, it's the holiday wish list for D.C. that could save taxpayers a ton of cash, and it's only on cashing in just a couple of minutes from now. But first,